anybody with a motor car and the price of a few gallons of petrol.
Which he can always mortgage his house for.
Yes. What's at the end of this section here? Worth seeing, huh?
It was a small lake. Well, more a large pond, really. And we've been draining it out now for 2 days. Then you wanted the other side of the lake. Well, apparently they found something unusual in the lake.
We should be able to see it just past there.
Lord. Old Dakota by the look of it.
No, that's a Pembroke.
Suppose they're still on your route?
Unless they bailed out.
There, in the cockpit. At least one of the poor bastards.
Several years. Whilst draining a small lake to make way for the new M62 extension in Lincolnshire, the wreckage of a plane has been discovered. The aircraft serial number reveals it to be a Pembroke of Transport Command, which the RAF announced was reported missing in December 1956. Only one body has been recovered, and that is believed to be the pilot, whose name is being withheld pending further formalities by the Ministry of Defence.
Okay, Lefty, this is it. It's curtains for you.
Don't speak too soon, Blue Eyes. I got 4 gats aimed at your bread basket. 2 on the gas station roof, 3 at the back of Mark Kelly's.
Oh, wait a minute, Lefty. Maybe we can make a deal, you know? Hello?
David, have you been watching television?
Incredible, isn't it?
I thought you'd raise an eyebrow.
I mean, if gangsters can't get their sums right.
What?
Well, 2 on the gas station roof, plus 3 back of Mark Ellis, that's 5, not 4.
What the hell are you talking about?
Television, the gangster film.
David, I meant the news.
Something about a plane.
Don't speak on the telephone. Come to the office.
Okay, I'll see you first thing in the morning.
Now, David, be there in an hour.
Evening, Zach. Evening, David.
Evening.
It's really pleasant driving outside the rush hour. I understand we're to go to Sir Alec's office.
What's all the ruddy fuss? Oh, it's this Pembroke they found. Apparently a case the old man was working on before he reached the top table, back in '56.
With Middle East connections.
Why's that?
Well, where else would they rope me in?
Llewellyn's here. Driver was down in the carpool.
Bloody Foreign Office. Llewellyn's biggest task is finding out just what the minister wants to hear, so he can doctor his advice accordingly. Who else is here?
Just us three.
Interesting. An airman on attachment.
The technical stuff, I suppose.
You, Nick Security. Me, Middle East pundit.
The reason why I phoned you, David, was not actually to do with the Middle East.
This battle flag is very pretty. You've got nothing like it at the Foreign Office. Where did you get it?
Some grateful Pathan has presented it.
If it's not to do with the Middle East, would somebody mind telling me precisely why I've been dragged out of my house in the middle of the night?
Come, David. It's only 12:10.
Right. Coffee, everyone? Hugh, could you pass these around?
Certainly.
David, now, can you give us a brief resume of the story contained in these files?
4 photographs, 4 men. In 1956, 3 bailed out of the crash Pembroke and lived. Tierney, the navigator, Morrison, the engineer. Men with quite remarkable memory for detail. And Jones, the passenger, with a more average memory. And, of course, the poor chap whose body was found today. The Soviets showed remarkable interest in the crash at the time.
3 people were murdered in the next few months. 2 petty crooks and an officer. All appear to be linked in some way to this case.
3 killings in Amsterdam, Berlin, and Norwich, where a jeweler was tortured and killed by an ex-POW who turned out to be working for the KGB.
The police passed the case on to intelligence, and the British counter-investigation was led by me. Eventually, it petered out. Remains one of the 1,000 mysteries in our archives. Questions so far?
With all due respect, Alec, what has such ancient history got to do with present government policy? And what on earth does it have to do with me?
The KGB was after the crashed plane, something it was carrying. That much is surely clear.
Routine flight RAF Gutterstone to Berlin, not from Berlin to the UK. That's routine stuff.
Until 2200 hours, when he radioed from over the Belgian coast that he developed engine trouble.
I'm not really interested in why the plane crashed.
Could the key to this be that this squadron leader Steerforth was involved in smuggling, black market, out of Berlin, 45, 46?
Well, that was a good 10 years before the crash.
But there was nothing to indicate such interest in the official manifest.
Who ran the Moscow end?
A somewhat fresh-faced Igor Panin.
Not the Igor Panin.
Your alter ego. Your unseen sparring partner these last 7 years.
Which explains why I'm taking you out of the Middle East section and putting you onto this case as a field officer.
But I'm no field officer, Alec. I came straight into analysis from a safe, gentle job at Oxford.
The fact is, David, some of your recent work has been a virtual parroting of Israeli foreign policy. We think you need a break.
A sabbatical.
I'm being shunted out.
Time to broaden your horizon. If you're going to be any further use to the firm.
In the midst of life we are in death. Of whom may we seek for succor but of thee, O Lord, who for our sins art justly displeased? Yet, O Lord God most holy, O Lord most mighty, O holy and most merciful Savior, we therefore commit his body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. in sure and certain hope of the resurrection to eternal life through our Lord Jesus Christ.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Jones. My name's David Audley. I'm from the Ministry of Defence.
You come to give your condolences, have you?
Yes, that's right, Mr.
It was good of you to come. Of course, it all happened so long ago. Why, Gilbert and I have been married for over 20 years. Those two young men there are our sons.
And you must be Faith, John Steerforth's daughter.
You knew him, did you?
No. I read up his war record. Quite a pilot. Arnhem, DSO, Special Operations, DFC. Plus quite a go from the Belgians. And then the Berlin airlift. Fine man.
They were all fine men. This business brings it all back. How different life was in those days. Quality of life.
Lee's father died for something he believed in.
Yes. Yes, I think you can be sure of that.
You didn't fool me for a moment, Mr. Orderly, if that's your real name.
My dear chap, I wasn't trying to fool anybody.
MI5 or whatever. Don't you fellas ever let up? Isn't there a statute of limitations or something?
Why don't I buy you a drink, Mr. Jones? You were the passenger on the last flight. And 3 years later, you married his widow.
Fine man. He may have been a good enough pilot, but he was also a damn selfish bastard.
You didn't say that 27 years ago.
We were in the same squadron. You didn't rat on your mates. At least not in our lot, you didn't.
So why say it now?
Well, I wasn't married to his widow 27 years ago. Yes, come to think of it, I hadn't even met Margot then. When I fell in love with the lass. Well, I learnt about Johnny, I'm sad to say.
Did you?
Margot's a decent enough woman. Steerforth got her pregnant and then lost interest in her when she got big. Played around, you know.
I know.
You know? Oh, yes, of course, the bloody files. I'm surprised they hadn't been chucked out in the weeding process.
So was I, actually.
Oh. So you haven't been dogging this thing personally since 1956?
Hardly. I was at Oxford at the time.
What are you, some sort of military intelligence?
I think so. This is my first day in a new job.
I'll tell you something else I didn't mention 27 years ago.
What's that?
I didn't believe he was dead. Neither did Tierney nor Morrison.
Really? Why not?
No, it was too damn convenient. As you know, he'd been up to his old tricks. Oh, come now, Mr. Audley, don't look so coy. You must know. Yes, I thought you went so dumb.
On the last flight?
Ah, yes, the last flight, they were onto something really big. I wasn't in the crew, so I wasn't in on it. But believe me, they were very excited. They were like schoolboys with a copy of Health and Efficiency.
Phil, how did it go?
No suspicious characters turned up, apart from Dr. Audley and myself.
How did he get on?
Last I saw, he was driving off with Jones.
Good. Foot in the door, at least. Now, Hugh, don't misunderstand me. This is business, and not all our business is good, clean fun.
I have been here a year and a half, sir.
We want you to keep a close eye on David, on Dr. Audley. He's been moved sideways from a good job, and if I know him under that academic exterior, he'll be fuming. David always insisted that the Middle East desk couldn't run without him.
And others would agree. But his intelligence analysis didn't suit the Arabists in FCO, particularly Llewellyn.
Now, don't be bloody impertinent, laddie. I'll have you back with the crabs, painting the runways at Brize North.
With all due respect, sir, I'll be very happy to get back to my proper profession.
Well, you work for me at this precise moment, and this is your brief. Monitor David Audley while formally attached to this case as his 2IC, and report back in writing twice weekly to me.
Under protest.
Christ almighty, Ross. Not a bloody trade union meeting. And And in reply to your next question, it's none of your business whether or not a copy of your report will go to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office.
Actually, my next question was going to be, do we have a code name allocated to this inquiry?
Yes, Lucretia.
Lucretia?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Operation Lucretia.
Good God.
So then what did he say?
What?
Jones.
Oh, he recounted how these Russians had hung around pretending to be Hungarian refugees. Air Force. Their story was that they'd had a contract with Steerforth to smuggle some kit into the country, and where was the trunk?
Had there been a trunk?
Jones didn't know. He never saw the cargo hold. However, he introduced them to a crowd of real Hungarian freedom fighters.
And?
I gather that the Magyars weren't 100% pro-Russian.
And that was the end of it?
Oh, here's how Jones described one of them. About 5'10", brown hair, brushed straight back, piercing eyes, a very determined-looking bastard.
Igor Panin?
Whilst drinking a small lake to make way for the new M62 extension in Lincolnshire, the wreckage of a plane has been discovered. The aircraft serial number reveals it to be a Pembroke of Transport Command, which the RAF announced was reported missing in December 1956. Only one body has been recovered, and that's believed to be the pilot.
Welcome back, Mr. Steerforth. Your resurrection might not be a minute too soon.
Good Lord.
I'm sorry. Look, I know this is a bit of an intrusion.
No, not at all. Would you like a drink?
Thank you.
Right. Here's the temperance.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come.
I'm glad you did. You know, you really do resemble your father.
You've got lovely taste for a policeman.
Why did you come? I'm not a policeman, by the way. Who told you that?
Well, Dad. Gilbert.
I'm a boring old civil servant, I'm afraid.
Actually, he didn't tell me.
Ah, I didn't think you would.
I overheard him and my mother. They're quite happy, really. So it was unusual to hear them quarreling. I shouldn't have listened.
You shouldn't have listened. You shouldn't have come. Miss Steerforth, your life is full of regrets.
You see, my real father, John Steerforth, he's always been sort of...
Hero.
Yes. I was actually almost bored by people like you saying how fine and brave he was. But secretly, I was very proud. I even bought a book all about the planes he flew. Dakotas, Lysanders, Pembrokes.
He was a very courageous man. Fine pilot.
Well, today I heard my stepfather saying he was a thief. A cheap little crook. Nicking stuff out of Berlin and hawking it on the black market. Now my parents are fighting with each other. frightened in case these weird people start coming around again.
What weird people?
Apparently, when I was a kid, these foreigners used to make a bit of a nuisance of themselves, I heard Mum saying.
Saying what?
She said it's all starting all over again. So Daddy wrote down your address and phone number and said she should get in touch with you if anything happened.
That was sensible.
And you, Mr. Civil Servant, do you reckon it's all starting up again? Whatever it is.
Yes.
I see.
Would you like to help?
Of course. What can I do?
Well, you set the table and I'll put on the stew.
Very domesticated. For a... whatever you are.
Ah, you're not the first person to say that. I suppose you think we all drape ourselves around the bar at Boodle's every night and bring home a cold fish supper after pink gins and billiards.
What's Boodle's?
Oh, forget it. Bad joke. And truer than you'd imagine. I've got some Stilton.
Be lovely.
It's rather nice to have company.
It's a bit cramped for space at the moment, Sam, but it'll be handier than being stuck in the annex with the other crap. Air Force chaps.
Fine. Could you get me the file on Tierney and Morris? Thanks, lad.
Anything else?
Typewriter.
Oh, I'll do any typing you need, Sam.
Oh, super.
Morning, all. What a piece of luck. Managed to persuade daughter of JS to stay the night.
I'll just get those files.
What's wrong with her?
Maybe she doesn't want to hear about your sex life.
Sex? Good God, no. I put the opportunity to far better use.
You interest me strangely.
Father, Steelforth. Stepfather, Jones. Mother, strange foreigners hanging around, and the present whereabouts of Tierney and Morrison.
That's a relief. I thought I'd have to spend a boozy lunch with the thin blue line.
No need to trouble the branch. Here. Do liaise with the local law, but I want a discreet dossier on both of those before we make direct contact.
When will that be?
Tomorrow.
Great. That leaves plenty of time to compile 2 curricula vitae.
Well, don't stand on ceremony, lad. Push off. Or is this the day you have to tap out your report on me?
Don't
be embarrassed. It's part of the job.
Oh, well, no doubt he's got you reporting on me.
No, he hasn't. But if you get stuck for any details, just ask. And for your information, I'm now off to see the senior Mossad man in London, one Jacob Ram Shapiro.
Yes, well, I won't mention that to the boss.
Why not?
I seem to recall hearing you being warned off your Israeli chums a few nights ago. Parroting Israeli foreign policy was the way it was delicately put.
You tell him everything, young fellow. Otherwise, you'll wind up grey and wizened and haggard, like me.
morning.
Good morning. Lovely morning.
Yes, it is. Can I help you?
Yes. We've come about the car.
Car?
Yes. Renault 16, 61,000 miles, color green. Yes. We would need to drive before buying.
Ah. Well, Mr. Audley isn't here. He's gone to London.
It's not here.
Afraid not.
Thank you anyway.
Hello, David. Are you looking or buying?
Utopia. What price?
Good question. How's tricks?
So-so.
Something you could do for me.
What's that?
It's my daughter's 14th birthday, a week Monday.
Natalie.
I just... Look, I love her. It's just I don't know what the hell to give her. I hardly ever get to see them, you know.
It's a problem. When Laura left me, we hadn't got round to kids.
Maybe that was the problem.
Brace. Christ, Jake, I don't know.
The apartment of our Air Force attaché was burgled last Thursday. He had foolishly left some classified papers in his briefcase. So, copies are now circulating all over MOD, right?
Are you asking me or telling me, Jake?
Would you tell me if I asked you?
Would you trust me if I told you?
Son of a bitch. I guess I would.
The results would certainly have been circulated to the Middle East desk.
And you no longer work there.
News travels fast.
So, you would guess?
I would guess the British service had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So what can I do for you?
It concerns Igor Panin, a crashed Pembroke.
Panin?
Berlin, 1956.
There you have me. David, you're a couple of years older than me. All that Suez Cold War time is a closed book to me, I'm afraid. Apart from lectures at Staff College. Why don't you ask Theo? Theodore Friesler.
Never heard of him.
Oh, he's one of our great Nazi hunters. Some say the thinking man Simon Wiesenthal.
Try this. It's an Amontillado with just a hint of drought-wrecked Spanish hillsides.
Thanks.
So, Panin, Berlin. What else?
According to our files, we picked up a Russian agent following the murder of a Norwich jeweler who used to buy certain items from the pilot of the Pembroke, but that was years ago.
Well, this pilot was in the jewel trade?
Excellent sherry. Really nutty.
Muchas gracias.
So, the Russian agent had connected the jeweler to a slow-burning gas cooker, which he seemed to imagine would help further his inquiries.
And what did this Russian want?
He was too frightened of his masters to say. But he did mention some boxes and Some Nazi outfit in Berlin. Forschungsamt. 4 BW9.
You know what this was?
Frankly, the Second World War and the Third Reich have never been my cup of tea.
I think someone has leavened your present cup of tea with a strong dose of paraquat.
Any chance of you being a touch less obscure?
Don't you know? It is clear to me, my dear sir, that you have been assigned to an inquiry where your personal safety can no longer be taken for granted. I just hope you have not been followed here.
And a briefing for the PM and the Australian High Commissioner on the same subject.
Capital. How's the Pembroke inquiry coming on?
Well, it's in David Audley's hands. But he's not really au fait with the routine for a field investigation.
Is he completely on his own, or do you have someone senior keeping the watch and brief?
First-class question, dear boy. Tell me, is his absence from the Middle East desk arousing much comment in King Charles Street?
Nothing more than a few sighs of relief.
Still, I've been reading his analysis. Not perhaps towing the line, but well-informed and always honest, I thought.
Perhaps dear old David is a touch too honest, Alec. I mean, one would hate to use the term naive. Incidentally, the word is he's still hand in glove with the Red Sea pedestrians.
Yes. How's Alexandra these days?
Oh, very chipper. She took a bit of a tumble at the coxcomb point-to-point last Saturday. Broke her damned elbow, poor dear.
Yes. No, it's nothing personal between you and David Audley, is it?
My dear Alec, whatever gave you that idea?
Only be a minute, okay?
Dr. Audley isn't here just now. Steerforth. All right, Miss Steerforth, I'll tell him. Thank you. Bye.
Grace, the squadron leader, has he left an envelope for the boss?
No. Did Dr. Audley mention he was selling his car?
No. Won't get much for it.
It's hardly worth 3 foreigners trekking out to his farmhouse, is it?
That old banger? I'll say not. Why?
Pembroke, you're in dead luck, old boy. I've just got the latest Jetfix range. Perfect, in every detail.
I had something larger in mind, Mr. Morrison.
Oh, larger? Oh, I'm sorry. Unless you compute up the scale drawings, double the size. Bit tricky, though.
Life size.
Life size? You're having me on the spot. Life size? This is a model shop.
You are 0194536 Sergeant Morrison Thomas Anthony?
Now, don't tell me I won something in a 40-year-old raffle. What's the problem?
The problem is yours, friend. And don't play dumb. The papers and TV have been full of the discovery of your old kite. G. George 111M Mike Squadron Transport Command. I'm Roscoe. MOD Security. We've reopened the file and, quite frankly, sir, you're in trouble. The pack of lies you've been caught up in.
Lies? I haven't...
So let's have the truth now, shall we? It's a pity to go to prison for something that happened nearly 30 years ago, isn't it?
Now, look, I didn't mention the boxes at the formal inquiry because we all thought Johnny Steerforth had faked his death and scarpered with, you know, with a big one.
And you hoped by keeping quiet, dear old Steerforth would turn up one day with a fistful of Reddings?
Well, more or less.
What was in the boxes?
Only Johnny knew. And Bert, pilot officer Tierney. I was just a lookout.
Jake, shalom.
Theo, how's tricks?
He's asking about Forschungsamt 4B.
How much does he know?
He gives the impression he knows nothing.
It's not an impression to be relied upon. Did he give any hint what Panin is after?
I will keep in touch.
So I told him not to leave town.
Do you think he will?
I doubt it.
And was he the only lookout on the last flight?
Who knows?
Well, we have to know, Hugh. We can't have these loose ends hanging around all over the shop.
By the way, I phoned the office. Grace says that Faith Steerforth telephoned.
I think it's time we paid another visit to Mr. Morrison, now that you've softened him up a bit.
You know, sir, that was a felony.
Yes, well, you can stop being so damn courteous and call me David.
Right, sir.
Is that him?
Poor sod's dead, sir.
How do you mean?
Dead. As in not breathing, sir.
Local SB's been very good. You and Hugh don't exist as far as the police are concerned. And the first hint from the pathologist is broken neck, as Hugh rightly diagnosed.
So it was an accident?
What makes you think it might not have been?
A man called Friesland. He thinks we're sailing into a somewhat murky area.
Well, Panin's never been one to shrink from getting nasty.
So there was a chance that he was pushed.
No, not as far as the local law are concerned. But Hugh's report does mention a female traffic warden outside Morrison's shop.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who was paying her, but it wasn't the local council. Their traffic wardens were changing shifts at the time.
Grace, get me Miss Steerforth on the line.
This is a super place, David. I'm having a lovely time.
I hope it's not too soon after the funeral.
My father's been dead for years. It was upsetting for Mum, of course, but I never knew him. He more or less walked out on her. He died before I was born.
Coincidence, her marrying someone from the same squadron?
Not really. Mum was a long way from home. The squadron was her closest family, in a way.
Tell me about the chaps that wanted to buy my car.
Just three blokes, really. Foreign. Hardly a word of English between them. What exactly do you do at the Ministry of Defence, David?
What sort of ages?
I don't know. Just three blokes, really. Middling. You know, kitchen of yours. It's really evocative. It's like those ads on the telly for home-baked bread.
Height, Faith. I really do need a better description of them,
Tell me something.
if I can.
Did you ask me out tonight for business or personal reasons?
Ah, that's what's troubling you. Well, you can put your mind at rest. I certainly don't know you well enough to presume to ask you for a date.
So it's professional.
Of course.
And the meal and the pleasant surroundings make it less formal. Is that it?
Something like that. It's all paid for by HMG.
Oh, stop it, Mr. Audley. Next time you want to interrogate me, I suggest you go and get a warrant or whatever.
Faith! Miss Steerforth!
Eat up. It's on expenses.
Tout va bien, monsieur?
Oh, capital. Mille grazie.
It's against SOPs for an illegal to visit the embassy.
Come on, everybody in London knows I'm the Israeli spy. So I gave you a shopping list already. What have we got?
For you, Jake, we have been slaving night and day. Meetings with the British, US, embassy briefings, monitoring the PLO. They'll take a back seat for our chief undercover man. What was all that about your daughter's birthday?
Cut the crap and deal.
Right. You asked for an update on David Audley. A Soviet embassy spook called Guriev. Pyotr Alexandrovich. He's been sniffing around Audley's house and generally keeping tabs.
What's the radio traffic like? Soviet embassy to Moscow.
2 separate increases. Unexplained from the Soviet embassy proper and from the Aeroflot manager's house in Highgate.
So, this Pembroke must have been carrying quite a large cargo. It's a stupid question, but what was in its hold when they found it in the lake?
Nothing. Apart from legitimate cargo, the cupboard was bare.
So Steerforth must have gotten rid of whatever it was he was carrying, between telling the crew and passengers to bail out
and crashing.
And crashing into the lake.
And who, apart from Igor Panin, knows what Steerforth nicked from Berlin?
Who indeed?
Not you by any chance.
Scout's honor.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise.
I feel rather stupid.
Come inside. You must be hungry.
All right. No need to rub it in. What is it?
Well, I take it this is a social call.
Came to apologize. Suppose that's social.
Good. It's just that I've been so wrapped up in work, I hadn't really looked on you as a...
Bit of crumpet.
Don't get waspish again. Anyway, it's I who should apologize.
Oh, my God, a spark of gallantry.
So I make a big pot of it on Sunday night, and it lasts me for the rest of the week.
Don't you get bored with it?
Not at all. Tuesday, I convert it to ragu by adding some wine. On Thursday, a judicious leavening of paprika changes it into goulash. And on Friday, the remains become David Audley's famous curry and rice.
Good God. What about Saturday?
Ah. Well, as a reborn bachelor of fading eligibility, one generally gets invited out on Saturdays.
You were married once.
8 years. How about you?
Couple of steady boyfriends. Once got serious. What happened after 8 years? Or would you rather not say?
Divorce.
Civilized?
Divorce is never civilized. She thought she hated my job, and all the time it was me.
You don't seem all that easy to hate.
She didn't believe it herself, so she blamed the poor old office.
What exactly do you do?
Quiet.
I'm sorry if I'm asking the wrong questions.
Shh.
It's your geese.
Yes. Do you know why I got them?
No. Eggs? David? Something wrong?
A certain Roman general kept geese outside his camp. Their cackling warned his sleeping army if the enemy attempted a sneak attack.
Do you think...
Well, they don't cackle if anyone comes up the front path, Faith. They're used to that. I think discretion is the better part of valor. Come with me. I shall now astonish you.
A priest's hole.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm afraid of confinement. What now?
I think they'll probably search the house.
Who?
Let's find out after they've gone.
How long will that be?
I don't know. Could take all night. They won't find us here. Cromwell's men couldn't, and a few old Russians certainly won't.
Russians? David, what exactly is going on?
Shh. Plenty of time for that in the morning.
Morning? David Audley, if this is some elaborate plan to get me into bed,
My dear young lady.
then it's quite all right by me. Unzip me, will you?
Good Lord.
You're not one of these queer intelligence men we've been reading so much about, are you?
Don't you believe it? It's the other crowd.